Rowers, at the sound of the bell, you may begin your event. Good luck and good bowling.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the 2014 USBC Open Championships. This is Media Relations Manager Matt Canizaro alongside Aaron Smith. And we are here to bring you the doubles and singles efforts of three-time champion Matt McNiel and his talented Linds Lakers teammates. Combined, these guys have more than half a dozen titles here at the USBC Open Championships, and always fireworks when we turn the cameras on them. We'll have all the details of last night's team event and, of course, their past success here at the Open Championships as we get our first look at McNiel. Here he leaves the 7-pin on his first shot of the day. Tonight's live stream broadcast is brought to you by Track, and we do appreciate Track support in all of our broadcasts from the National Bowling Stadium this year. Right now we're behind lanes 13 and 14. And Aaron's got score sheet in hand. He's going to give you the rundown of last night's run into the top 10 for the Linds Lakers.
All right, thanks, Matt, and welcome everybody, and thanks for sticking with us here. Obviously, 10:30 squad out here in Reno. 1:30 a.m. back out on the East Coast, so we appreciate everyone taking some time out of their late evening, Sunday night, and Monday morning to join us here. But yes, yesterday, Linds Lakers ones, which features Sam Lantto, Matt McNiel, Luke Voaklander, Todd Savoy, and John Eiss, put together a 34-34 set, which was 7th. They actually just got bumped to 8th by Fusion Realtors out of Waterloo, Iowa, who went 34-43. But Matt McNiel, of course, big name here, can't miss the past 4 years at the Open Championships. Led the way with 7:59. He was followed by Savoy, 7:17. Lantto, 6:86. Luke Voaklander, 6:55, and Eiss at 6:17. Although they ended up with a bigger score, the Dramatics were left to their companion team. Gary Green out of Holton, Wisconsin, a two-time Eagle winner with these guys, shot 300 his final game. He also had another 300 last night, so a lot of fireworks yesterday, and we're ready for a few more right here behind 13 and 14. An interesting thing, obviously we came in a little bit late today. We actually missed our 2-minute warning, so we came right into competition here. But I talked to Mr. McNiel before we had started. He said him and Charles Vashaw, who's the extra guy on the pair, also a 3-time Eagle winner here, they were going to work right around 4, 5, 6, being the two lefties. They worked so well together in past years as well. But the righties in the group, everyone except for Todd Savoy actually started off about the first 3 minutes of practice throwing plastic balls straight or right in between 3rd and 4th arrow, trying to carry down some of the conditioner on this 40-foot sport bowling compliant pattern. Then they went off to start using their usual stuff, but we'll see how that pans out for them. We've heard some folks talk about that, have used that strategy in the past. We'll see how it works out and how that extra few minutes of doing that helps them out. McNiel trips out to 7. The 2010 and 2012 regular all events winner, as well as the 2012 regular doubles champion with Vashaw, and has done nothing but, I think you put it nicely earlier, the all-time pinfall leader on our live streams here.
Absolutely, and McNiel, of course, the king of the catchphrases here at the USBC Open Championships. He spent some time here last year as the featured coach on the Track Showcase lanes, and in honor of his title, of course, as the king of the catchphrase, let's just say that he's done more TV magic here than David Copperfield. He has been a magician on the lanes since 2010, his breakout performance. And he had some solid years before that, only 7 years in the books already. This is just number 8. But in his tournament debut in 2007, the young Matt McNiel shot 782 in singles and earned his first interview, his first trip to the media room, got his picture taken, and just a couple years later, history unfolded here at the National Bowling Stadium when McNiel set the all-events record. And 23-26 was the number, just 5 pins higher than the record set by Ron Vokes a year earlier in Las Vegas. Certainly McNiel put on some fireworks that year, and very humbled at the accomplishment. Actually didn't even know that he had broken the record at the time. His knees kind of gave out when he found out. He fell down onto the bench here, and there certainly were some tears for such a fine accomplishment. Took home the all-events title that year. Came back to the National Bowling Stadium a year later and earned his nickname, Matty McHonorscore, on the live stream broadcast as a defending champ. Shot 308-22 here at the NBS and made a run at the all-events lead. Almost made it back-to-back. Came up a little bit short, finished third that year. Shot 22-41, only 22-41 after 23-26 the year before. But he made up for it, and one of his goals was to prove that he was not a one-house wonder, and went into the Baton Rouge River Center and certainly proved that. Again, on the live stream broadcast, he definitely draws in the numbers. We had him on for doubles and singles. He shoots 300-847 on a challenging Baton Rouge lane condition. Only 19 300s that year. And again, he was able to claim the all-events title with 22-02. And as Aaron mentioned, the regular doubles title with Charles Vashaw at 14-89. So always looking for some excitement. And last year as the defending champion again, McNiel made a run at singles, came up just a little bit short, finished in the 780s, and earned himself another watch and a top 5 finish. But does not disappoint. Came up a little bit slow in doubles, and again came the fireworks. So we are ready for anything here. We've got the paperwork ready, cameras on hand, and really the whole group is certainly very talented, very capable. Todd Savoy, of course, stepping up on the right lane here in just a minute. 6 titles here at the Open Championships, and the rest of the Linds Lakers, 2002, 2006 team all events winners. Luke Voaklander, kind of a newcomer to the group, but he did provide some excitement as well in 2011 with a 300 game on the live stream. And he's still in search of his first title. He certainly picked the right team to help get him there. These guys are always a threat in every event. And as Aaron mentioned, their companion team also very strong. Gary Green last night with the 300 game. A little bit of excitement there, and a 12:44 finish for the Lakers on the way to their 3,400 plus effort. So a good head start for team all events. A big number they're chasing though, 10,363. Jans HI from Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. Big number. So again, these guys have been there before. They won that title twice. They've had the lead numerous other times. And 10,000 certainly within reach, and certainly a capable group. For those of you just tuning in, again, this is the 10:30 squad here at the USBC Open Championships. We're watching Matt McNiel and the Linds Lakers. This is Matt Cannizzaro and Aaron Smith. We are behind lanes 13 and 14 here at the NBS. And we're just underway. Game 1 of 6 will be here for doubles and singles. All 6 games being bowled on the same pair. 40-foot lane condition here for DS this year. And here's McNiel up again on the left lane, looking for his first double here in the minor events. McNiel new to the Brunswick staff this year, so throwing some different equipment. It was 900 global previously when he found his success here at the National Bowling Stadium. But a year of college bowling under his belt, some new equipment.
Yeah, we just saw Matt here just a few weeks ago helping Wichita State. Just missed, and we've talked about it a few times, his Wichita State crew just missed the show, Urbana's Graham Fa. needed to throw all three in the 10th to send Urbana to the show. Game 7 in the double elimination format, and Fa delivered. He also stopped by the Open Championships as well. Talked about this numerous times. His 35-51 team effort with Graham going 290, 246, and 300 in his tournament debut for 836. Since then, we've added a few more 800s to the bill, 4 total. I'm talking to Matt a little bit earlier before they started. He said, as I mentioned, him and Chuck obviously going to work together as the lefties on the pair, looking to break down that 4-5-6 range. Matt said he was probably looking more 2,000 grit for himself. He said Chuck might be using something a little more abrasive, maybe more around the 1,000 mark. So it worked so well last year. Chuck did struggle in the title defense, but McNiel put on a show in singles. We had USBC Hall of Famer Jeff Riggles on the call with us that night as we watched Matt fire 787, just missing what was then the singles lead. John Zerbinski leading at 789. 795 ended up being the leading total. But as you said, another watch in the collection for McNiel with that performance.
Appreciate everybody joining us here very late on the East Coast or very early, depending on how you look on it. So thanks for stopping by. If you do miss any of today's broadcast, you can find the archived version on our YouTube page, Bull TV. Just go to youtube.com/BullTV. That's where you are now. And you'll be able to find this and all of our other broadcasts from earlier this year, as well as some great videos in the Open Championships playlist. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you won't miss out on any future broadcasts. You'll always get notified of what's going on, what's coming up on Bull TV. Had our first broadcast from the USBC Women's Championships just yesterday over at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. Great to have an opportunity to show off that event and that great facility, and we'll be over there quite a few more times before that event wraps up on June 30th, and plenty more scheduled from the National Bowling Stadium here at the USBC Open Championships. Plenty of great bowlers still to come through. We'll be here till July 13th. Kick things off February 28th, so we're almost halfway, if not already there. A lot of great bowlers in town this week. We had 2 60-year bowlers, so we celebrated some high scores, and we celebrated some great participation milestones. One of those high scores was the highest team game in tournament history, 1299, shot by 123bowl.com. Talented group there from the Connecticut area. Those guys possibly could have had a little bit more, but 1299 bested the previous record of 1281 shot by Jeff Riggles and his 11thframe.com team on the way to the 2011 regular team title. But as they say, records are made to be broken.
Certainly so. That was pretty impressive to watch that run. 32 strikes in a row before the string finally ended in the middle of the 8th frame. But yeah, 2 splits in the 9th frame, another split in the 10th. So 3 opens in the final 2 frames there. Certainly cost him a few more pins, but $12.99. Still a nice little number. Nice to take home a little bit of history as well.
All right, Aaron, a lot of people want to talk equipment. It looked like McNiel started with his trusty LT48, if I'm not mistaken, and now has switched to the Mastermind.
That's the Mastermind, yes, the orange and blue. Was using both of them throughout practice. I believe Sam has gone to a Mastermind Genius. Matt made a point to say the guys kind of all, I'm not sure staff affiliations, but there's a little bit of everything out there. So outside of him with Brunswick. Saw a few hypercells going down the lane earlier as well. Maybe more in practice.
And bag loads of talent.
Yes.
Talent and experience, of course. These guys very accomplished here at the USBC Open Championships and, of course, well, pretty much everywhere. Their history dating back to the early 1980s, even here at the Open Championships. Savoy earned his way into the USBC Hall of Fame.
I believe that was with the fame, or he started off with the Loons, right? Back in the mid-'80s, and now the Lakers more currently, but 6 titles, USBC Hall of Famer. Not a bad resume.
Well, and McNiel in McNiel fashion came in, and he's been here since Wednesday, I believe, and I'm just trying to get comfortable, acclimated to the environment again after being gone for almost a year. Just getting comfortable, bowling a few shifts at the Storm Bowlers Journal Championships, testing out the equipment. Of course, the same lane pattern that we're seeing now is featured over at the Bowlers Journal, so a good opportunity to get a few games in and get your feet under you and make some equipment choices. But of course, even though Matt always tells us that he's not feeling quite right, the body's not feeling right, maybe the arm swing's not as in tune as he'd like it to be, he always bowls great. So at 7:59 last night, coming off a big win last weekend.
Yeah, some tournament somewhere, I don't know, this inside bowling guy keeps talking about it, but yes, Matt, fresh off the IB Open for 2014. Certainly had to help loosen up the arm swing coming to Reno here, and we'll see what he can work off with that 7:59 as he looks to get his name in the banners again. 22.73 currently on top. Anthony Lacaze. We saw that right here live on Bowl TV. And of course, the number these guys are aiming at right now. Another group from Wisconsin, Minnesota. So used to saying Wisconsin around these parts. But 1465 by the father and son duo of Clark and Carl Polzer. It's currently what these teams are aiming at. Looks like we are waiting on ball return here.
Certainly a few big numbers on top of the standings here. Near record in team all events, but these guys again have been there before. So definitely not intimidated by looking at the leaderboard, and great start yesterday in the 34-30s. With a big finish. Had to have a lot of confidence and momentum coming in here for day 2. Again, we're waiting on a few balls stuck in the back. Here they come, so we'll be back underway here in just a minute. McNiel 2 strikes through 5 frames. Throwing 2 different balls, it looks like. The LT48 on the left lane and the Mastermind on the right.
I know we always have questions about equipment. Luke Voaklander is a Columbia 300 staffer, so that's what he'll be tossing down the lane today. Looks like we got the equipment back. We're back in business. Savoy cleans up the 4-pin, no problem.
Well, we've already alerted the family. I'm not coming home because more than once, Mr. McNiel has had us walk out of the building after the sunrise. After some great bowling. Of course, we do our interview thing. Get the word out to the world. Get it up on bowl.com. Spent a lot of time this year on Facebook and Twitter. Of course, McNeil's quick success here at the Open Championships earned him the spot as the featured coach last year at the Track Showcase Lanes and a weekly spot on the Bowler Show. And he gladly handed over that title this year to yours truly, so I get to get on there and talk Open Championships for a few minutes every Sunday afternoon. Definitely check that out. If you missed today's broadcast, you can find that in the archives.
So wait, that's you? How about that?
Yep. Some people think I just closed the office door and put the sign out there so I can eat lunch in peace, but no. Actually get on the radio show. Also do one on Wednesday. The Let's Go Bowling Show out of South Florida, Tampa area. Always glad to talk bowling, no matter what time of day. No matter what. Love enlightening people about the behind-the-scenes things at the Open Championships, how things work. And, of course, answer any questions or handle any misconceptions about how things work. So, always glad to talk business. John Eiss leading the pack here with 5 strikes and 6 frames. And you never know with this group. It could be any one of them at any year putting up the big numbers. Or all 5 of them for that matter.
Well, certainly so. Obviously 2 team all events titles. Got to be consistent throughout the whole effort. And I believe that team was Savoy, Lantto, Vashaw, Eiss, and Gary Green made up those 2 winning teams.
Well, Aaron, if there was 10-player team all events, certainly this group would be one of my top draft picks. Although my picks haven't done so well here in 2014.
So you got your horse up on the lanes right now.
That's right, folks. For the first time in history, we have introduced fantasy team all events. And we went 6 rounds this year, just Aaron and I. And we each drafted 6 players. We'll do the top 5 and then drop the lowest of all 6. And that will be the fantasy team all events number.
And you need some help.
Trying to create a little bit of excitement here in the office. Aaron and his team already plus 1,128. And that's 4 bowlers in the books. And my guys are plus 485, so a little bit behind. But McNiel was one of my picks, so hoping for some big numbers here, of course. I'm running out of room, though. Almost everybody's already bowled. He didn't like that one as soon as you let it go. The old 379.
Yeah, definitely the body language there, and wasn't too pleased with that one. Eiss finds a similar fate, looking at the 4-6-7. McNiel actually was clean yesterday, so it's looking like his first open of the 2014 event. But again, this is about the only thing he hasn't done on the live stream yet, so why not? Let's mark it down.
Almost. Some years here, I feel like you're so close, and you get to the point where you're around the pocket, go a little bit light, and a couple 3-7s. But some of those years, the 3 always seems to go, or the 7 always seems to go, and then once in a while, they just both refuse to cooperate. Always interesting to see the moves and the strategies. It'd be great to mic these guys up sometime and maybe have them talk us through some of what they're thinking, the transition, how they're handling things.
Some nice shot by Vashaw, his first double of the day here.
Getting towards the end of game number 1 here in doubles. Matt McNiel, 7:59 last night in team event, led his team into the top 10. We've seen a lot of folks come out and struggle early in doubles. The one of the exceptions, Anthony Lacaze, consistent in all 3 events, on the way to a 22.73 all events total, the 4th highest all time. He was coming in as a defending champion for Team All Events, Junior Team USA Support 1. And now in position, playing the waiting game on Eagle number 2. So many great bowlers in the building and on their way. And we know no number is safe, no record is safe. Appreciate everybody dropping in. I see some folks getting ready for their flights out here to Reno, coming to watch some bowling in person. And maybe some people just waking up there on the East Coast or not quite yet going to bed on the West Coast. So thank you all. This is Matt Canizaro, Aaron Smith live at the National Bowling Stadium. Aaron Smith's gonna jump on the computer there. We are not at the USBC Women's Championships. We were there yesterday. And it was such a memorable event, our debut in 2014 that Aaron wanted to remember.
Piece of cake, problem solved.
Problem solved, thank you to the anonymous tipster who pointed that out for us. The good news is everything else has been working so far. We had some trouble yesterday. We solved one problem, created another. That's how we do it here. Try not to make the same mistake twice. Or point it out for more than 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah, we got to see another group from Minnesota, actually another Linds team, the Linds Northern Stars. Debuted the 2014 live stream schedule for us. Struggled a little bit out of the gates, came up, finished up nicely though. It's a good week to be from Minnesota. Tune into Bowl TV. Striking the ninth for McNiel, still looking for his first double. So it's 205 out there.
We saw Matt McNiel walking through the venue today with a gallon of water. And he's all about the fitness and the nutrition and likes to stay hydrated. And we joked with him a little bit about his run in 2012. He had 1 cup the entire event. And he had it on one side of the counter and walked it over to the water tank after every frame. Had a drink, put it back. Same shot routine every time. It worked. 300, 847, and I believe that cup still exists with the Matt McNiel autograph on it.
Well, yesterday I actually saw one of the paper cups here from the NBS being used in between shots. He has a water bottle out here today, so we'll have to discuss that strategy later on today. Figure out how that affects how he gets out of the ball, something like that.
For those of you who may not be familiar with the run Mr. McNiel has been on here, Aaron Smith has his participation record in hand. And he started out with 3 pretty good years in the 1800s, including a 782 in singles in 2007. But blew the doors off in 2010 and has been on a tear ever since.
Yeah, it actually took him to his second. It took 2 tournaments for him to actually shoot his first 600. So 540, 560, 780 in that debut right here at the NBS. But yeah, since 2010, let's just run down in order. 2010, the record-breaking all events total 780, 740, 806. Back here in 11, 745, 822, 674 for 2241. In Baton Rouge, 792, 847, 563. Is that right?
Yeah, back in Baton Rouge, hit a tough pair there.
I do recall that, watching that on the live stream. 2202 was enough to get to the all events title though, and then last year 612, 700, 787 for 2099, a lifetime average here in 7 tournaments of 229.5. So certainly a unbelievable record overall. And I know last year with that team event, obviously being the featured coach down here, he talked about just the pressure of having people ask him every day about this pattern and when he's bowling, and he made it sound like even though he, for what he's capable of out here, 612, was a little bit disappointing, but he said at the same time it was such a relief, obviously being downstairs and coaching on offering coaching for the team pattern. It was such a relief to finally be done with team event. He felt like a brand new guy the next day, and then obviously just missed making an honor score for a 4th consecutive year. But now, once again, at Wichita State, there's double number 1. But yeah, a whole new perspective coming in this year, and we'll see how it plays out on the lanes.
Last night, these guys made a great run in the team event. Excellent team effort, great team players, good communication, chemistry. And moved into 7th place last night in the 34-30s, down to 8th place now. A great head start for team all events. Struggling a little bit here in game number 1 of doubles, however. Sam Lantto, 194. Todd Savoy, the USBC Hall of Famer, 201, clean. John Eiss, 207. Eiss is going to be high on the pair, 207.
Actually looks like Chuck went to a different, it's tough to see. It looks like most of his stuff is one solid color, but it looks like he actually went to something with a little polish on it. Whereas Matt's kind of going around it, or getting around the pattern a little bit more than Chuck at this point on the left side. But nice finish for McNiel, 205. probably looking for a little bit more, but as the lanes develop, I'm sure the fireworks that we're used to will be just around the corner.
I mean, 805 is a good score, certainly from here. Would be his lowest 800 here at the Open Championships, but it's still okay.
I can get one if you want. Just curious.
Now we'll take a look at Vashaw and Voaklander going to finish things off here in game number 1. Again, 10,363, the team all events number they're chasing. And certainly going to have a lot of work to do.
As a group overall, they need to go 69-29 today. And based off of just what we've seen with a few of these other groups, probably right around 2:30 for the day when it's all said and done.
And the more we watch, the more I'm impressed by what Jan's HI did in doubles and singles. They played it cool. They stayed pretty much together, played a little bit to the right, and just crept left. And we haven't seen that too much, especially with this new Eiss oil from Kegel, the lane maintenance provider here at the Open Championships. But usually creeping isn't the answer. And there's a big move, almost a cliff. Usually the end of game 2, early game 3. Yeah, those guys just smoothed that out and bowled great. Averaged almost 230 in doubles and singles to get to a near record.
Well, it certainly helped going 34.99 the day before. But yeah, that was. If you haven't bowled yet, be sure to check out that live stream archive on our YouTube page, youtube.com/bowltv. Yeah, that was just that was a show. But yes, most of the groups, not a lot of changing of equipment. They basically just kept moving, and made a few ball changes towards the end of the day. But yeah, just obviously Tim Damerow, who is our currently still in second for regular all events and was our regular all events leader after that 22-28. He stuck with the same ball all 9 games. So the pattern this year certainly allowing for multiple angles and to be played, and for a while that's usually don't hear that too often this day and age, someone being able to stick with the same bowling ball for let alone 3 games, but 9 over 2 different patterns.
Well, of course, the true test of versatility now here at the Open Championships. Last year, the very first time in history, we had 2 different lane conditions. Also the first time fresh oil for every single squad, team event and doubles and singles. And we made the move from 4 on a pair for doubles and singles to 6. Slowed down the pace a little bit for some of our older bowlers. And of course, staying on the same pair for all 6 games. A lot of changes, always on the cutting edge here, and accepting feedback from the bowlers. That's why all those changes came about. Do our best to listen to the feedback when we can, and certainly want to keep this event going in the right direction and keep the bowlers happy.
this whole bowling thing doesn't work out for us, Matt. Looks like Mike Flanagan thinks we have other opportunities on the main stage. I don't know if we're Oscar ready yet. I mean, we're pretty fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but thanks, Mike. We needed that pat on the back today. Always appreciated.
Again, Aaron, the man with the numbers here at the Open Championships. He's got the score sheets. He's keeping a tally, so we'll keep you posted on how these guys are doing in their march towards the Team All Events title. Long way to go. Struggled a little bit in game one.
Yeah, 978 in the opener for Linds Lakers 1.
John Eiss high on the pair, 207.
McNiel didn't feel comfortable with the approaches there, it appears. Resetting. Getting back to business.
Saw a little bit of swagger there after that shot. Matt's certainly a bit of an entertainer. Whereas the opposite end of the spectrum, of course, his doubles partner in 2012, Charles Vashaw, quietly getting the job done. Yesterday, Gary Green, their companion team member, very humbled by his 300 game here on the tournament lanes and didn't have much to say. Let his bowling speak for itself. Guys giving us a great look at both sides of the lane as well as a variety of equipment here. And when we can, of course, we'll provide information about what we're seeing go down the lane.
You know, being from the Midwest, you think I'd have a better grasp on some of these names, but we do apologize when we, perchance, mispronounce a name here or there. It's happened before. It'll happen again, I promise. Unfortunately, that's just what we do. Right now in the third frame of game number 2, just starting the 4th. Be here for all 6 games this evening.
It's all right. It gives us something to do before we come into work tomorrow.
Which is always nice.
Sam Lantto looking for 4 in a row. Helped this team to team all events titles in 2002 and 2006.
Looks like a ball change for him since from game 1. Whatever it is, seems to be working just fine. It's kind of fun, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, a few of the right-handers were throwing plastic down the middle to carry down some of the oil, and Sam was throwing his white out there. I got to watch him win the Peterson with that very same ball, basically doing the same thing back in August, I want to say, of 2013. So that's kind of it's kind of neat. This whole group was out there competing as well. I think McNiel found some hold. Little hold there. But McNiel always very animated out here at the Open Championships. So once we kind of mentioned the swagger earlier, but I think one of the funnest things last year was obviously we mentioned we had Riggs on the broadcast, and just the attitude change in the bowlers area in the settee when McNiel got lined up and started to make that run was just night and day. How he was just able to just turn it to a whole nother gear. And like we said, ended up 3rd overall in singles.
Sometimes all it takes is a little bit of a jump start, a spark, a firework, and that's contagious. It gets to the whole group, and that's when you really see things come together. Sometimes when there's a good run at team all events and everybody's striking. We saw that just a couple days ago with 1-2-3 taking down the single game record here at the Open Championships. A 32 bagger for the team, 34 out of 35. No doubt there was some electricity and some excitement going on at that point, but at the same time, they mentioned nobody wanted to be the guy who ended that string, and it ended with a great shot, a 10-pin, and of course 10th frame, a little bit slower pace, but 12.99 the final number, and those guys finished just outside the top 10, but something that they will remember forever. And at least for now, will be at the top of the list in the record books. Got a newcomer to this group, Joey Robillard, one pair to the left. They brought 12 guys this year, so each team had a 6th man, and that gave them the opportunity to have 6 on each pair to have it to themselves. Joey bowled earlier today, struggled early in the team event, but things came together. Throws the ball great, but he's the guy. He does not have his name on his shirt. You bowl at the Lakers, you have to earn the name. And just a youngster, first timer here at the Open Championships. And what a way to start your career alongside the Linds Lakers.
Joey went 212 in his opening game here in doubles and singles, paired up with Daryl Conrad, and went 189.
Well, that's the highest pair of the 12 guys, or highest game of the 12.
That is, yeah.
So the youngster leading the way, learning from the best. There's Voaklander piping the emergency orange. The Columbia eruption.
Forgot the hashtag.
We're hashtag challenged here in the broadcast booth. But, good ball change there from Voaklander. Looks like a few different balls going back to the bag for these guys. Another great shot there from Lantto. So he's got 5 out of 6. John Eiss looks like he's throwing the Tour Fusion from Storm. Here's a 10-pin on the right lane. Matt McNiel looks like the LT48 in hand still.
Matt actually drilled up a brand new ball while he was out here during his team event. Ball I guess he had struggled with a few other drillings and ended up finding the right look. I haven't seen it yet out today.
Well, very much like 2010. It was a brand new ball, I believe, that he set the all events record with, and again threw that a year later. Sometimes that's the answer. Just come out here, just bring your shoes. Go to one of our trusty pro shops here. All of the booths represented, all the companies represented. And they're here every day and every night watching bowling. Take their advice, drill up a couple of rocks, and there you go. You have the opportunity to try them out. If you want to see the team event lane condition, you and your team can go down to the track showcase lanes, get yourself 1 hour on the pattern for 125 bucks. Your opportunity to test out different strategies, ball surfaces, different equipment. Get yourself an idea of what you're going to do in the team event. And again, as we mentioned earlier, if you want to see the doubles and singles pattern, you could head over to the Storm Bowlers Journal Championships. That event being held under the same roof as the Open Championships for the 2nd consecutive year. And that's down on the high end of the National Bowling Stadium, lanes 69 through 78. Only the first 64 lanes here being used for competition at the main event. A lot of great competitive opportunities. Get loose, get your arm swing ready, get your equipment set. And we've seen quite a few bowlers, including our regular doubles leaders. Carl and Clark Polzer took advantage of the Bowlers Journal Championships. And Clark actually rolled a 300 game over there. He did win a singles event last year. Taking advantage again of the opportunity to get a look at the lane condition, and it paid off in both places.
Sam wanted that one, unable to mix them up, leaving the 7.
Aaron, these guys certainly do have a good time when they travel to these events, and they're a pretty tight-knit group, and all year long they're getting ready for different team events, city, state, other team tournaments they have in the Minnesota area. McNiel last year, of course, was here for the entire 2013 USBC Open Championships as the featured coach, so missed out on a few of those events. And then this past year, he's been in Wichita, getting his master's degree bowling collegiately. But a very cohesive group and a lot of success at every level. And that is very important. Of course, this event's so much about camaraderie, chemistry, communication, knowing each other's games, and being able to talk through some things. Typically with a trio of lefties here to work together and talk about what they're seeing out there. A good variety of styles and experience for sure. From the first timer to 30 plus years for a couple of these guys. 40 for Tom Corbett this year. So 4 decades in.
Yeah, we talked to Tom a little bit yesterday. He kind of handles all the work for the group, handles all the getting the money in, getting the team set up. He said he goes through all that, so these guys can just come out here and bowl, and they have everything all figured out, the whole game plan. They're ready to go, and all they have to do is put on their shoes and strike for days.
We certainly talk about that a lot. Everybody has a role here at the Open Championships. That's what the team event's all about, and Tom's that guy, gets everything together, lets them focus. And I'm sure there's a lot of talk about strategy as they prepare for the event. Some team practice sessions, I'm sure. We mentioned earlier we've had some excitement here at the Open Championships this week. We had the highest team game in history, 12.99 by 123bowl.com from Connecticut. Last night's team event, we had 2 300s, 299. Later on, we had a 298 and another 299 this morning. So the pin's certainly falling this week. And we also celebrated a couple of participation milestones. 2 60-year bowlers. That club now includes 19 members. A couple 49 years today, and 50 coming up in just a couple days. So a good mix of excitement and the celebration of longevity.
Yeah, and that I was going to say that we only had the 2 60-year guys scheduled for this year. Clinton Zavakos and Frank Clay. And those two gentlemen, along with Dick Rice out of Wisconsin, all have the possibility of joining another elite group. There we go. I knew I could do it. All within striking distance of the 100,000 pin club. And all of them will be looking to grab the crystal pin in El Paso in 2015.
A lot of great participation awards here at the tournament, and possibly more on the way. Always looking for ways to reward our longtime bowlers. Not everybody comes out here with a shot at the eagle necessarily. Of course, you can always hope for that dream performance, but for some, it's about the reunions and the camaraderie and having a bowling vacation. Aaron, it looks like we're seeing some pins falling here. We're behind lanes 13 and 14. 2014 USBC Open Championships, doubles and singles. Appreciate everybody stopping by. We know it's late on the East Coast, but the pins are starting to fall here, except for that flat dime. But the 7 went, so Sam likely going to run this down. He's been throwing the ball great this game. Just carry not cooperating just yet. McNiel on 250 pace. Luke Voaklander made a ball change, and now 4 in a row for him. Also 4 in a row for Savoy. But a big task at hand here. The doubles lead, 1465. Clark and Carl Holzer. Team all events is a monster, a warlock. 10,363. Jans HI from Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. Talented group, always around the number. And finally on top. Yeah, it looked like that one was gonna hang left, but it checked up for sure. A little bit high even for the 6-pin.
And then I don't know what you would call that move after.
A shimmy, the shake.
Something.
Voaklander rolling here in game number 2. Started at 171, but made the right ball change going to the Columbia Eruption Pro. Hashtag emergency orange.
Oh, well done.
Again, all of the companies well represented here. Some storm balls, Brunswick, Columbia.
Saw some motive earlier in the day as well.
Good mix of equipment, talent, experience. Sam Lantto struggling a little bit with carry here in game 2, looking for 239. Again, the 10 does not cooperate. Lantto with back-to-back flat dimes. McNiel and Savoy. Ball checking up early. 6-pin and 4-pin. We're getting to that part of the day, the transition time. The Kegel Eiss oil takes a little bit longer to break down.
Looks like Sam's going to try something a little different here on the fill ball. Savoy in the books, 232.
Great shot there. Starting to get a little bit left, using that rangefinder as the break point. John Eiss was high on the pair, 207 in game 1. Struggles here, opens in the 10th for 169. Seems to be going away for a couple guys, and a couple others just found it. Neal, 6 out of 9 so far, 3 9 spares in there. You like that one? Just looks like for the lefties at least, the right lane hooking a little bit more. Matt a little bit harder and straighter there on the left.
Looks like a hammer deadly aim and Charles switched to. McNiel will be in the 230s here. He's going to make a ball change here on the fill as well. Looks like the mastermind genius. That one jumped a bit big for. If there was ever a place, that was it. Chuck's going to make a change here as well. Looks like zero gravity making its way out of the bag. Leaves the 7 for 185.
Voaklander's first miss in switching balls. About halfway through game number 2. Looks like Vashaw pulled out the virtual gravity there for a minute on the fill. Or zero gravity, sorry. Forgive me, Mike Flanagan. .226 for Voaklander, 234 for McNiel, 228 for Lantto, 232 Savoy, 169 for John Eiss, and 185 for Vashaw.
So a big jump that game for the Linds Lakers group. 978 in the opener, 1089 for game number 2, but they'll need to keep raising the bar a little bit if they want to get to that leading 10,336 set by Jans HI.
Lantto still battling with the carry here. For Eiss, ball still checking up early on that right lane. My favorite left-handers, Chris Hester, checking in the chat room. Staying up late. We're waking up early. Now that it's Monday, he can head back to Chick-fil-A and get himself some chicken nuggets.
Sounds fantastic right about now.
Matt McNiel, 205, 234. Perfect through 1 here in game 3.
When I was talking to him yesterday, I think in the final game he shot 278, but he started off with the front 3, and he said he already started thinking about it. He said he already started thinking 300 that early in, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I assume with him, he assumes he's going to do it because, well, he's He's McHonor score. But
So we're going to be so exhausted after this broadcast. We're going to get home. We're going to change. We're going to hit the McDonald's drive-thru on the way back. And we're going to accidentally order the McHonor score. I'll have a McHonor score and a large coffee, please.
I want that with egg or sausage.
We do appreciate everybody stopping by tonight. I know it's late. Great bowlers on the lanes, though. This is Matt Canizaro and Aaron Smith. We're live at the 2014 USBC Open Championships. You can find us on Twitter now. How about that? That's the new thing for the year. At USBC Matt, at USBC Aaron, and of course, for all of your USBC news, at USBC.
Gave McNiel a few rough hits last game. Looks like he fell off that one, no problem though. The Rodney Dangerfield of college bowling.
That's right, we give him a hard time about being the oldest bowler in college bowling. The opportunity to bowl it with one of the most celebrated programs in college bowling. Many national titles in the trophy case at Wichita. Charles Vashaw with the 310. He doesn't say much. Not very emotional on the lanes, but a little bit frustrating there, I'm sure. Getting a bad break there. 10-pin won't go.
One of the nicest guys you'll ever get a chance to talk to as well. So had a few opportunities the past 2 years, and always a pleasure to sit down and chat with Chuck Vashaw.
Remember that time you quit doing this?
Yeah.
You chased another dream before you realized that this was it?
And now all these 227 folks in the chat room are now stuck with me.
Another talented left-hander checking in, Steve Bone. He was here this weekend with fellow champion John Cryer, the 2010 regular doubles champs.
I got to go in the chat room here. Chris Brown bringing up a guy who bowled for Calumet who graduated. He was a few years older than Mr. McNiel. That is correct. Ryan Gleghorn went back to school as well, late 20s, after Calumet started up their program, and Ryan ended his collegiate career with taking home the MVP at the 2010 Intercollegiate Team Championships. So it's good having the experience, having the age and the wisdom out in the collegiate level.
Well, Mr. Smith, now that you've had the opportunity to cover the ITCs and ISC a couple times, and of course the Open Championships, and now that Calumet right there in your hometown.
Yeah, just a few miles away.
So when you are ready to head back to school to acquire your PhD in live streaming, you can use the rest of your eligibility.
I didn't know Emil Williams Jr. was holding class somewhere. The true talent behind the headsets.
Absolutely. Emil Williams Jr. has moved on to become the voice of Chicago State basketball. certainly miss having him around, especially when it's time to put the cameras on the top of the tripod.
That was a fun discussion earlier, trying to figure out who was taller. We really didn't figure it out either, did we?
No, but we got all the cameras up just fine. So far this year, we've seen some folks shine in the team event, 43-foot lane condition, and struggle the next day on this 40-foot double singles pattern. We've seen it the opposite. We saw former Team USA member, two-hander from the left side, Cassidy Schaub, 585 in team, and then back-to-back 750s in doubles and singles. And of course, our all events leader, Anthony Lacaz, consistent and solid all the way through. 2273, fourth highest all events total all time. Sits atop the standings.
There's a four-bagger. Matt McNiel starting to throw some strikes up here in game 3.
Do have some dedicated fans here in the chat room, some familiar names, of course. Randy Russell. Seen him out here. He's been on the live stream before. Chris Shipman is a new kind of Open Championships historian. We've talked a few times this past week just about some of the great moments and some of the great quotes from our live stream broadcast. We do come up with some gems. Mike Flanagan, always a comedian. Aaron Smith, yes, if you would like to take some time off in the off season to be on The Bachelor, go right ahead. I will cover your duties at the USBC headquarters.
Oh, I appreciate that. We'll get the folks on the line that I don't even know what station it's on. ABC, NBC. It's not Bowl TV.
Ha! That's the only channel Aaron Smith watches is Bowl TV. And he goes to bowl.com quite a bit, but just to read the articles.
Matt Canizaro, everybody. He'll be here all week.
I'll be here until July 13th at least, bringing you the action from the USBC Open Championships, Women's Championships right across town. All the news and notes on bowl.com, for real. And some pictures too. And we've learned quite a bit about social media this year. Posted a lot of videos. And we learned the hard way. We can post a 20-second video of somebody shooting 300 and it will get 100 likes within 15 minutes, but we can slave over a news release for hours, pouring our souls into it, telling the stories of these bowlers, and 19 people will read them. So we've made the transition to the next generation, and it's all about the Facebook and Twitter now. You find us on Facebook, the Sport of Bowling USBC, or the official USBC Open and Women's Championships page. Of course, the Matt Canizaro USBC page as well. Some behind the scenes tidbits on there for you. And on Twitter at USBC, at USBC Matt, at USBC Aaron. posted a spectacular live streaming selfie yesterday from the women's championships on my
I don't
Twitter
want
page.
any credit for that. I was not involved. I was just a bystander.
We wanted you to feel like you're all in the booth with us. And if you're curious about any future live stream broadcasts, you can find that on bowl.com as well. On the right-hand side of your screen on the main page, all USBC live streaming events. Or you can go to the Open Championships page, click on the information tab, and the live stream schedule is one of the options. Our next broadcast will be from the Women's Championships on May 14th. We'll see the defending, well, I guess they're not defending anymore. Of course, some changes at the Women's Championships. They've gone from 5-player teams to 4-player teams. So the last official 5-player team champions, Eagles Edge Pro Shop, led by Joey Biondo. We'll have that on May 14th at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. here on the West Coast. Followed shortly thereafter by lifetime average leader here at the Open Championships, Gail Myers Jr. Small in stature, but big in numbers here on the tournament lanes. So lifetime average leader. That'll be doubles and singles May 17th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Game 3 of 6. Right now you're watching the doubles finale. The number they're chasing, 1465. Luke Voaklander can't throw it any better than that.
The worst break in bowling.
Up in the Midwest, they call that the cold 8.
Is it because it's always cold in the Midwest? I should know.
You should know.
Y'all have dragged me out to Texas.
Y'all did, yeah. Some folks already making the flip to singles. First timer, Joey Robillard to our left, making his debut with Linds Lakers. He's got the front 5 here in game 3. Started strong with 212, 237. He's got the front 6. Full team event earlier today, came in as a 6th man. Aaron, did you see Mike Flanagan offer to live stream his own team event? And he thinks that sending Lucas a ball as a bribe is going to get that done, but yet we're the ones sitting here in Reno.
I remember something about pizza, perhaps?
He's greasing the wrong palm.
Back-to-back 6 pins on 13 from Matt McNiel. Still has 250s out there. His average, as he says.
Are we getting a little bit giddy since we've been here for 16 hours so far?
Probably not. Although I did contemplate looking up the lyrics to a certain song Mike Flanagan suggested.
So a legitimate question in the chat room: is there a way to find one's career stats from the Open? And at this time, that is only available on site here at the Open Championships. We have a computer set up near the check-in counter where you can look up all of your scores from over the years. And as we transition to some new systems, some new software online, of course, many of you have seen it with the online registration system. And we're working on some new leaderboards and things for the future. And hopefully, eventually, integrating some of the participation information as well. So a lot of changes on the horizon. And no change for Joey Robillard, one pair to the left. Still striking, he's got the front 7 here. Heck of a debut. Of course, some big Linds to fill for Robillard after McNeil's debut back in 2007. Big finish for 782 in singles. But they gotta feel pretty confident coming in with this group.
And of course, if we do get to that 10th frame and Joey's still rolling along, we'll see about moving the cameras around.
And Robillard in McNiel fashion going to the water jug. Question from Chris Hester: has the PBA rule for next year's Open Championships been decided? And the rules discussion continues. We've seen a draft of next year's rules, so hopefully we'll have all that finalized in the coming weeks. PBA season now runs for the calendar year, so January 1st to December 31st. Currently the top 50 on the PBA points list, and anybody who won a title the last 2 seasons not eligible for this year's event. But we'll have all that and more for you available soon. So check back to bowl.com. The information tab on the Open Championships page, very helpful with all kinds of, well, information. including this year's lane conditions and much more.
All right, Sam Lantto stepping up on 13 to make it 5 in a row after an open in the 4th frame. Takes care of business. Joey's run at perfection over on 11 and 12 ends in the 8th frame, leaving 3-6-10.
3-6-10, arguably the most difficult spare at the Open Championships.
It's back-to-back shots that got a little bit away from McNiel there. Lucky to leave just a 3-pin. Saw him leave a 3-7-9 earlier in the day. Nice break for Vashaw there. Cashing in the double. Like that, we're in the 10th frame. Game 3 in doubles. Moving along quickly here. These guys have actually caught up to the team to their left. Linds Lakers 2. Gotten a little ahead of them. They're striking quite a bit here. Takes care of the 10 pin. Will be in the 230s once again. 657 still out there.
Guys certainly trying to find a way to strike here, needing to average more than 230 the rest of the way. Holding each other up, but all 5 not on the same page here in doubles. Messenger does not cooperate for McNiel. After striking out 5 out of his first 6 shots here in game 3. Unable to get all 10 to fall.
strike here for McNiel puts him at 663 to go along with his 759 from yesterday. Gary Green not too far behind yesterday with his 300 in the finale, 751. Can actually be at 673, so he would be, him and McNiel would basically be right around the same mark going into singles. We start looking towards that 2273 number for all of it. It's ball change on the fill. Takes care of all 10 for McNiel.
It's like a little more shape with that mastermind for McNiel. Maybe starting to scoot right and give it some room. Aaron said he moved about 13 boards last night in the team event, which is a little different for a left-hander to make big moves, but when you have multiple guys on the pair using the same side of the lane, sometimes that's necessary.
Some question about Gary Green. He just finished off game number 3 with 246. He started off 202, 224 for 672. Chuck's getting into the striking mood here as well, taking advantage of a Brooklyn in the ninth, turn it into possibly 240 here.
Did have a request to hear from McNiel in between doubles and singles, but I think we're going to let Mr. McHonorscore focus a little bit here. Maybe we'll try to catch up with him afterwards. Maybe he'll give us a reason to.
Matt finds himself at 1422 after team and doubles. Still out there. 851 to take a share of the lead.
I always appreciate the kind words. Some folks stopping by to thank us for the live stream broadcast. Watching in person here. As we watch Matt McNiel slow rolling, leaves the 247.
Sammy told me to bowl in the wrong alley.
The Lakers confused by the red arrows indicating which lane to bowl on.
Sam.
Mr. McNiel. Let him hop on here for a minute, chat with Aaron about how things went in doubles.
All right, so we're going to give a live look in here, see what's going on 13 and 14. Matt McNiel, welcome back to the booth. Finished up at 663 out there. Just give us the rundown on what was going on out there.
Well, the bad shots seemed to look pretty good and struck, and a lot of the better shots I threw did not strike. And they six-pinned wrap 7. Game 2 I threw very well. Game 1 we figured, it'd be a 2-0, 2-1 game, and just, try to play left, grind out. And we did that very well. I think we set them up pretty well. The guys who are leading doubles right now, they definitely deserve it, because this is a tricky pattern to shoot that big of a number on. And I'll tell you what, the guy who's leading all vets right now, hats off to him, because this is extremely tricky to get your ball to pick up the lane in the right way, to be able to go through the pins the right way. I'm on my 4th ball change. I moved about 18 with my feet already, and I'm still guessing out there on a lot of shots. And even the shots you throw really good, you just don't know. Is it going to push a little bit and wrap 7, or is it going to bite a little bit? The minute you rotate it at all, it's instant death, 6-pin or a split of some sort. So I'm just going to keep grinding. That's all you can do, and just try to knock as many pins down as you can, obviously. So thankfully Sam bowled out of turn, so I do not have to shoot that 247. So I'm looking forward to a fresh start on 13. But I like that tie, pal. I really like that tie.
I would imagine so. I think we took a picture with it last year, repping the old school Brunswick here. But just going to say, I know we talked a little bit before. You said you're probably going to start off with something maybe around 2,000, and you kind of migrated through a few balls. Just for everyone, still got quite a few folks tuning in right now. Just kind of what has been the progression out there for you ball-wise? I was kind of in between a pin-down Mastermind, pin-down LT48. I went with the LT48 as a little cleaner through the fronts. They were so sparky, though. I mean, Chuck had no chance out there until he really balled down, and we got him to quiet down a little bit. And then I moved to a pin-up LT48, and that's what I threw the majority of the second game with. And now I've just moved right again. I'm going to give this Mastermind a shot, but it's still really quick off the pattern. I can't get the ball to slow down enough in the fronts. And that's really the trick here, is you got to open up your angles, get the ball to read in the front, so you create some shim for yourself, but you can't give it away a ton. So that's kind of the consensus so far, but I'll stop back in a game or two. All right, Matt, thanks again for swinging by, and best of luck here in singles. Once again, that was Matt McNiel stopping by for a few seconds. No stranger to the booth here at the Open Championships. Joined us quite a few times during the 2013 event right here at the National Bowling Stadium, and we'll see how he starts off here in singles. Looks like the right move there, starting off taking care of business. Shrugs his shoulders like he's done it before. Matt talked about the leading team all events number a little bit there, and what those guys were able to accomplish. They find themselves at 65-65 after team and doubles. Linds Lakers ones And that leaves them at 37.98 for singles, which is a pretty big number. Basically $760 a guy if they want to get to that 10,336 posted by Jans HI out of Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. But you never know. We've seen teams bounce back on this doubles and singles pattern in striking fashion. Matt also talked about the doubles leaders. They had a fantastic, just the way that group broke them down. They had just a bunch of big numbers in doubles. Scoring pace dwindled a little bit during their singles event. Carl Polzer continues strong to put up a career best number, moving into the top 10 in regular all events. So we'll see what these guys can muster up here. See a few strikes up there already, so maybe it's just a matter of getting off to a quick start here and letting it roll. We want to thank everyone for sticking around here. Obviously, we're actually at Monday morning now here in Reno, Nevada, 12:30 Pacific time. So for all you folks out on the East Coast, maybe just getting up or finishing off a long day, thanks for joining us here at the USBC Open Championships at the National Bowling Stadium in Reno, Nevada. Here on Bowl TV, brought to you by Track. Aaron Smith and Matt Cannizzaro. We'll be bringing you all the action here from the 2014 USBC Open and Women's Championships. We appreciate everyone taking some time out, burning the midnight oil to join us here.
Admiring the pictures. Oh, Sam? Yeah, Sam looks like he's going to dig a shit, so does Chuck, so do I, but he got up there nice and
Apologize if anyone caught anything inappropriate there. Guys checking out their photos from earlier today. Although they're certainly not where they want to be after doubles. Looking at that team all event score, we're still having some fun out there. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Prize money gets spent, but the memories last forever here. Certainly attest to that. For my tournament career, I'm sure Matt has plenty of stories as well and things he'll always remember.
I need to write those down before I forget because I'm getting ridiculously old.
Fact.
Aaron's working the numbers. I'm sure he's already given the update on what it's going to take for a shot at all events, team all events. So we know the singles number, 826. Lewis Jenkins Jr. from Oklahoma. That included a 300 game. Came after a 527 double set. And he really didn't do anything. Stayed in the same place with the same ball, let the shot come to him, and it certainly did.
It seems to be the key to a big singles set this year. The other 800 shot during singles, Chris Murray out of San Jose. Not quite 520s, but 590s, and just felt he had the wrong ball in his hand, kind of finally made the right choice, and bombs away. 268, 266, 268 for 802. Kind of a flat 7 there for McNiel. The pin came across the deck, but did not catch it.
Another ball for the left-hander, the mastermind genius.
Once again, we're going international here, Matt. We got Morgan joining us from Sweden. It's already breakfast time there. So once again, we do appreciate all you folks joining us here live on Bowl TV. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do. You'll get all the notifications and see the latest and the greatest. Get to check out all the archives, all the great coaching tips, all the fun little things that pop up on there. So be sure to mark it down. YouTube.com/BowlTV. Of course, you can follow the Sport of Bowling on Facebook at Facebook.com/USBC. USBC's on Twitter, Twitter.com/USBC. And then Matt and I also in the Twitterverse at USBC Matt, at USBC Aaron. That's AARON. Because Matt has way more followers than me, so I'm guessing people are just spelling my name wrong. Or I'm not as famous, one of the two. But be sure to follow us on all those social media networks for all the inside scoop, all the latest and greatest from out here in Reno. Matt, you never know who's going to swing by and join us in the broadcast booth. Kimberly Bauer joining in from brackets here. Watching the action here behind 13 and 14.
That's right, when you come to the Open Championships and you're ready to step up to the bracket window, absolutely ask for Kimberly Bauer. So get you entered in the 159, 3610, 30 clean. So many great side options here at the event. Extra prize money up for grabs. Mr. McNiel grabbed a share of the 30 clean jackpot last night, I believe. On the way to 759, helped his team into the top 10 in the 34 30s. Now they're 8th after a nice showing tonight by a team from Iowa. Right now, with a spare here, Mr. McNiel essentially must be perfect the rest of the way for a shot at this year's all events title. I believe Aaron said 851 was the number.
851, yep, so
857 still out there.
it's a good number. Ron Vokes thought it was a good number at least.
Aaron, we got folks checking in from all over the world. They just want to hear more about Kimberly Bauer, brackets extraordinaire, here at the Open Championships. Australia, Sweden represented.
Alaska, Arizona. Proves that bowling is truly an international game nowadays.
Of course, here at the Open Championships, representatives from all 50 states and several foreign countries. We had some of the top bowlers from Canada in this week, including Joe Kayak, rolled a 300 game at the 2009 Open Championships in Las Vegas. Of course, last year, you knew them as Canada Pants. George Lambert, the fourth, helped his team to a top 5 finish. Mark Buffa, 300 along the way.
Francois Lavoie, McNeil's teammate at Wichita State, was a part of that group, and might as well get the chance to plug a few TV shows coming up Tuesday, actually. We have the first of 4 shows on CBS Sports Network from the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Singles and Team Championships. First up, starting tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Network, the Women's Singles Finals. So be sure to check that one out. It's going to be a good show, followed up by the Men's Singles. Francois, part of that group. And then we have the team events the next following Tuesday, so be sure to check that out. Set your DVRs. I don't know how to work a DVR, so. But if you know how, do it, for sure. Definitely worth checking out. Once again, the X-Bowling Intercollegiate Team and Singles Championships starting May 6th. That's Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
All right, back to the action here. Matt McNiel now up on lane 14. Needs a strike here to keep his singles and all events hopes alive. Rings the 7-pin. So there will be no third all events title for the left-hander.
Back to one of the LT48s. He said he actually had 2 of them that he had used already. Able to find the right mix to strike a lot here. He's certainly 663 in doubles, nothing to slouch at, but
that team all events number 10,363 is a biggie. Do appreciate everybody sticking with us here. It's getting late in some places, early in others.
that's always the right time on Bull TV.
That's right. If you missed any of today's broadcast, you can find it in the archives, start to finish. Just talked to a gentleman who's in town and had the opportunity to stop by live. Said he watches at home, watches at work. Actually got in trouble a couple times from his boss for tuning into Bull TV, but go ahead and do it. Tell him we said it's okay.
Certainly so.
Some superstars in the building. Senior Queens champion Paula Vidad. Erin Lenahan rolled a 300 game at the USBC Women's Championships not too long ago.
Paula and Aaron just finished up their team event here at 7 p.m. Of course, right now we are in game 1 of singles during the 10:30. The last year of 10:30 squads here at the Open Championships. Got a brand new schedule coming up for El Paso in 2015. Not a bad squad time.
That's right, registration already open. A couple thousand teams already signed up. That event will run February to July 2015. First time in 112 years of history, USBC Open Championships will travel to the Sun City. Women's Championships was there in 2010. A great experience at the El Paso Convention Center. Get on bowl.com, get your team together. Some great incentives depending on what day you want to bowl.
Sorry, go to church.
Yeah, the hit's not falling the way these guys are hoping so far. A lot of shots making to the pocket. A lot of 10 pins. Saw Lantto seemingly not miss for a game, but only had 230s to show for it. McNiel, a lot of 6-pin, 7-pin back and forth leaves throughout doubles there. So
Great shot by Voaklander for the double. Saw him shoot 300 on the broadcast in 2011 in the team event.
Lantto gets all 10 to cooperate there, though. Another 6-pin for McNiel. Just unable to find the perfect matchup here.
Well, if this was no tap, Mr. McNiel would be perfect, of course, through 8, but with that shot, he also will not be adding a singles title to his resume. Sometimes they just don't fall your way, no matter how well you throw it.
824 still good though.
Not too shabby. Mr. McNiel learned a hard lesson back in 2011, 10 actually. 2010 when he shot 299, 806 in singles. He was not a USBC Sport member. Missed out on some great awards, made sure before he bowled in 2011. He paid his upgrade and came out firing 300, 822. Tacoma Sport 300 ring and a crystal pin for the 800 series. All of you guys have that opportunity when you come to the Open Championships, contested on 2 different USBC Sport Bowling certified playing conditions. So $15 will get you the chance at some really cool awards.
Over on 11 and 12, Joey Robillard. Did I get that right? After making his run at perfection to end doubles. Looking 250s as he gets ready for the 10th frame here. So this was Joey's tournament debut, correct?
Absolutely, the first timer, and what a way to come in bowling with the Lakers.
Well, I think after this year, he's going to earn his name on the back of that shirt finally.
Well, interesting strategy by these guys, bringing 12 players, allowing them to go 6 and 6 here for doubles and singles. And of course, the 2 extras had to find teams to bowl on, but we're able to do so utilizing some connections and the subboard here at the USBC Open Championships. Talk about how important it is to make your spares here on the big stage, and Mr. McNiel, nothing but 9 spares since the 3rd frame, staying clean.
He's only had the 1 open so far today, 3-7-9. Back in the first game of doubles here. But yeah, the strike's not coming his way through game 1 of singles.
Is there a no-tap division in this tournament? Take that spigot and turn it back on.
McNiel asking about the no-tap division here. Not knowing we're several frames ahead of him already.
He's been on the broadcast with us before, so he knows we're ridiculously witty and always up to date with what's going on out there. We have to stay ahead of the transition as well. We're getting towards the end of game number 1 of singles here.
Sam flexing after that strike to kick off the 10th frame. Still having a little bit of fun out there. Sometimes when the hits aren't going your way, that's all you can do is just sit back and laugh and cover it up and move on to the next frame.
Or just save all your strikes for games 2 and 3.
In the books for Sam. Todd finishes up 217. Another 6-pin on 14 for Matt McNiel. Has been an unpleasant theme for the 3-time titleist. Another strike here in the 10th. John Eiss can get into the 240s to kick off his singles event. Automotive Primal Rage.
McNiel going to the bag, trying to pick the right rock that's going to knock them all down. Looks like the other LT48. Of course, each bowler allowed to bring 8 balls to the USBC Open Championships.
Joey Robillard's going to be in the 250s after a double in the 10th. Never fails, strike on the fill ball. That's supposed to happen after 8-9 counts in a row, right?
Thanks.
It was a hard-fought 202. The importance of making your spares clean through one game.
Getting 9 spares. That's the prettiest 202
9 spare, much better than 9 dash.
I've ever seen in my life.
The prettiest 202 game in Matt McNiel's career.
Right there. It don't get any prettier than that. Not
Straight from the man himself. .256 for Robillard.
At least I didn't give away count.
Voaklander can still get to 224.
Wowza.
That is the Shaker 8. That's just mean. Charles finishes up 199. Voaklander 213.
That was Eiss making sure these guys bowl in the right lane here in game 2.
Had a little confusion to start singles here. It is important to follow the red arrow associated with your name. .1057 for Linds Lakers 1 to open singles. So it looks like Jans HI can sleep another night here. Have some red strikes down on lanes 7 and 8. Jerry House out of Linwood, Washington. Our 162 start in singles has the front 7 here. McNiel still not sure if that 6-pin fell. It's been nailed down for him today.
Roping it. 213 start. Strike here in frame number 1.
we've heard it once, we've heard it a million times here. It's just talking about the way this event works. You get your one shot, your one opportunity on the championship lanes every year, and sometimes, you know, the stars align, all these hits fall. Other times you got to fight for every hit, every back row pin seems to stand up at one point or another, and we've heard it from defending team champions, even talking to junior Team USA Support 1. They were here to defend their team all events title. They felt they executed their game plan as they wanted to, and just didn't find the hits that they had found back here in 2013. Obviously, Anthony Lopez did that and more so on his way to a 2273 all events total, which is still on top of all events. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if these guys just got a few more hits each way, why can't I say we'd? We would, there we go. Where we would be sitting here at 1 a.m. These guys had a few 240s, 250s up there outside of the two teens, 220s, 230s that they've been able to muster up.
Well, Aaron, even with their struggles, hard to say that, struggles, they're still going to be pushing that 10,000 number, and Mr. McNiel still flirting with 2,100. And that's a pad year.
That is under average for him.
2099 last year. The big single set. He's 678 this time around for 2,100. Certainly will help in the team fantasy team all events category.
Certainly won't hurt your chances, but feeling pretty confident about my crew right now.
Aaron's over here doing the seated strut, but they can't see you, guy. You're on the headset behind the cameras.
For good reason.
Ha.
Startled by that. Seeing all 10 pins cooperate. We still got some frames left to go here. It's always exciting when Matt gets on a run. So hopefully these guys still have something left in the bag for a final game, or game 2 and the final game of singles here. Once again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Still got 138 people watching us live here at the 2014 USBC Open Championships. Aaron Smith and Matt Cannizzaro bringing you to the action here. There's a double for Eiss. Singles lead now out of reach, but certainly still a lot of pins out there for him to get.
Looks like the crowd dwindling a little bit here as we roll on here in singles. Neal with his first double. No, started with a double. And then 9 spared himself to a 202.
That's a grand total of 8 9 spares in a row. Vashaw getting in on the action on the left side. Now, Matt, we talked about my expedition on the lanes this year already a few times, but as a fellow left-hander, you get a nice up-close look here of a few varying styles from the left side. Just what are you taking in from all this for your appearance way down the line in June?
For starters, these guys are really good. But all of the watching and all of the practicing in the world haven't seemed to help over the last couple of years, so I'm just going to go out there and play my game, not try to recreate anything I've seen out here for sure. Just go out there with a new group this year, so try to fit in and help the team as best I can. Definitely going to hit the track showcase lanes here a couple times before June rolls around. Was actually thinking about hitting the Bowlers Journal Championships tomorrow, or today, I guess, just a few hours from now even. But we'll see how that goes, see how everybody's feeling, and have some friends in town, so we'll get an idea. Talk to the doubles partner, Ken Wagner. Maybe come up with a little bit of strategy, and I'm sure he's got a great set of eyes, if he's wearing his glasses, to help out. So just looking forward to getting ready and bowling towards the end this year, so a lot more time and a little more bowling to watch before then. You did raise the bar quite a bit this year, shooting 1,700, and came up clutch on your fill ball to hit that number on the nose.
That is wheeling it by them. With all the rev I get on it. Singular. For those of you wondering about our next broadcast, you can check the full lineup out on bowl.com. Have the full listing of the nearly 30 live stream events coming to you from Reno this year. Reno is home of the USBC Open and Women's Championships. And our next broadcast will actually be from the Women's Championships on May 14th. Eagles Edge Pro Shop, a very talented bunch out of Illinois, featuring Joey Biondo. Her team will come back to defend. We kind of talked about that earlier. A little different since we made the switch to 4-player teams, but that group will be back to defend their team title from last year. That'll be at 7 p.m. out here, 10 p.m. Eastern, and then the next broadcast from the Open Championships. Some guy named Jeff Riggles, I guess. I think a few people have talked about him or something like that before, but Jeff and his unbelievably talented crew featuring Steve Richter, Gail Myers, Mark McDowell, and Mr. 1900 himself, Mike Shady, will be on the lanes for doubles and singles, a new twist. We've since we've introduced live streaming, Riggs & Company has been brought to you every year. It's always been team events, so a new twist this year. We'll get to see their strategy on doubles and singles. And that'll be May 17th, 11 a.m. locally out here, 2 p.m. Eastern. Our next telecast after that, technically May 23rd on the East Coast, May 22nd out here. Also a 10:30 squad. We'll see defending regular doubles champions Ryan Burkhart and Rick Gatlin take to the lanes. So that's a look of what we got coming up in the next few weeks here at the Open and Women's Championships.
We're certainly rolling through here. Things kicked off on February 28th here at the National Bowling Stadium. We're on the lanes until July 13th. We'll be joined in late June, early July by the USBC Queens and Senior Queens, and then the USBC Senior Championships. We recently had the collegiate events at the Reno Sparks Convention Center, home of the 2014 Women's Championships. Of course, some great side events. As we say, if it's happening in bowling in 2014, it's happening in Reno. It is not happening for Charles Vashaw there on lane 14. The 4-6-10. McNiel trying to clean up his 7-pin. McNiel, a solid spare shooter.
So they have the two open so far. Unfortunately, one of them was a frame ago. Both of them 3-7-9s. Right now, looking for red strikes here. Todd Savoy.
No dice, the flat dime ends his run at 6.
Looks like another ball change for McNiel here.
About as far right as we've ever seen him. Throwing that mastermind genius.
Tough day by his standards for the 3-time Eagle winner. Certainly can't overlook the overall body of work these two pair of lanes, 11 and 12, and our feature pair, 13 and 14, have accomplished out here over the course of their careers. 18 Eagles amongst the group. And would certainly not be surprised if they ever made it up to 20. They keep bringing on newcomers like Joey here on 11 and 12. Certainly a recipe for success for a long time coming. Joey finished 256 in game number 1. Start off with a strike in game 2. Opened the second frame, spread to the third, and followed it up with a 3-bagger. John Eiss getting lined up here. Makes it 6 in a row. So it's 280 out there. 235 start.
Shot goes Brooklyn. Leaves the 8-pin. McNiel can just laugh. Things getting interesting here in game 2. They've certainly played the ball game, throwing about everything they have at this 40-foot doubles and singles lane condition.
Further right in the lane, still finding a way to leave 6 pins. Story of his day.
Another makeable spare, and what was a flirting with 2100 now, turning into holding on for 2000.
Robillard makes it 4 in a row, striking on lane 11. Youngster's making quite the impression here in his first tournament appearance.
A few of these guys now, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. There's a couple of them looking a little frustrated and confused here. Not Todd Savoy. He's got 8 out of 9. John Eiss not far behind, 280, still possible. Started with 235. He's got 6 in a row, stepping up now, looking to make it 7. Left-handers having a head scratch and singles event here. The red ball.
Hashtag. Always with the hashtag.
Primal Rage.
There's another ball change for McNiel, the original mastermind from way downtown. Holy cow. I know I've never seen you play that dude. It's because you have nitro in the bag.
Well, certainly Neil is loaded with versatility, as we're seeing now.
May have to bump the the camera to the right on when he's on 14. He's almost out of getting to the point of being out of the picture.
Voaklander for the 4-bagger. Now we're in the 10th frame here, the end of game 2 coming right up. Hopefully nothing's happening on the other side of the building as we haven't heard a peep. We're behind lanes 13 and 14 here at the National Bowling Stadium. The 10:30 p.m. doubles and single squad winding to a close. If you missed any of this broadcast, you can check it out at youtube.com/bowltv in its entirety.
That 10 pin put Savoy into the 260s. Really making the turn at 485 with the conversion.
.202 for Lantto, 268 for Savoy. Here's McNiel stepping up on lane 13. He's throwing just about every ball in the bag. Looking for a double here. Get him into the 200s. Doesn't quite get there. Leaves the 3-pin, 195 max here.
Probably his low game of the tournament so far. Eiss pulls that one through the nose, leaving the 3-6. 250 still out there.
McNiel chip 6 for 195. 202, 195. .258 for Eiss. Good run here in singles for the right-handers. Lefties struggling a little bit here down the stretch. Robillard still striking it up. One pair to the left, 256. Possible 237 here in game 2. Voaklander, the high hard one. For 5 in a row.
Give him the heater, Ricky. All Matt McNiel can do right now is shake his head.
Well, by McNiel standards, a bit of a difficult year here coming to a close. And for the rest of us, will be a career performance.
True.
Hand rack.
.217 for Voaklander. Gives the group their highest performance so far here in minors, 1140. A little too late here. Officially out of the running for team all events. But there's still time for one game, one more run at tournament history though. See if we can get another honor score added to this group's tally this weekend. Gary Green on the companion team fired the tournament's 13th 300, followed up several minutes later by Larry Case Jr. out of Jamestown, New York for the 14th of the 2014 event. All right, looks like we're going to get Matt McNiel in for a mid-frame report here.
So I was walking over here this evening, and a crazed homeless man dressed as an amateur dentist offered me a free root canal. I have the feeling I should have taken him up on it and passed on the bowling this evening, but wow. At least I'm going to show people. I'm really going to try to shoot something this game, and at least all the naysayers out there will say that I can, play right of 10.
You certainly have made the moves further right than what we're used to seeing on the left side here, and especially in that 10th frame on 13, coming light on the first shot, trip 6 the second one, just over under all day for you. It seems like just being able to get the carry to cooperate. So what's the game plan here for these last 11 shots?
Pray. Really, honestly it is. I'm not throwing it all that bad. It just, I'm really having a hard time giving the lanes what they want, and that's my fault. And that's bad game plan, that's bad preparation, that's bad equipment preparation. But this shot is really nothing like what we've seen out here before. Hats off to Eric and Gus, what they've done. This is a very tricky, difficult pattern, and there's a learning curve, obviously. So, if we see something more like this next year, I'll definitely be better prepared. So, I'm going to go throw a few shots, and we'll try to do something decent here at the end.
All right, thanks, Matt. Once again, Matt McNiel jumping on board, giving us the mid-game update. No, Eric Pearson, Women's Championships Tournament Manager and Head Lane Guru for USBC, helps develop all the patterns with the good folks over at Kegel. Gus Falgen was the gentleman Matt was referring to there. Coming up with the patterns, always looking to create multiple angles to attack the pattern, as you can see there. But it's all about shot making in the end. Still want to, still is the national championships here. So don't be surprised if you do end up paying for those not so good shots. That was certainly my case during my time on this doubles and singles pattern. Paid for bad shots. A lot of splits. Fortunately, didn't make any of them either this year, so that didn't help the case at all. You definitely got to be on top of your game here for doubles and singles. Have to have the game plan to prepare for all 6 games, so some folks willing to have that patience in the early on, maybe don't want to necessarily say sacrifice a few frames, but maybe be a little more content with taking your spares and grinding out the first game in hopes of opening up something later on in the day for the rest of the doubles and singles. These guys came in with a game plan, and saw them scratching their heads a little bit here from time to time, but John Eiss, Todd Savoy finishing out strong. Matt McNiel looking to do the same for the fans. So the McUnderscore moniker, 2 years in a row. Able to put together 11 in a row at least. Still a record to be envied. The only bowler in 111 years of tournament competition with 3 800s on the championship lanes. There's 3 eagles to match that as well. We mentioned that multiple times. Set the record in 2010, 23-26. All events totaled to take home his first eagle. Then back in Baton Rouge in 2012. Teamed up with Chuck Vashaw to take home the doubles title. And his big 847 in doubles propelled him to his second all events title, 22-02. Savoy still ready to put on a show for the cameras here. Front 4. Start with the front 6 in game 2 on his way to 268. Joey Robillard, one pair to our left, 256, 226. He's making the turn at 482. Started off game 3 with a strike.
All right, so game 3 of singles rolls on here at the National Bowling Stadium. We are behind lanes 13 and 14. Matt McNiel showing off his versatility, as he said, proving to everyone out there that he can get right of 10 or 15. And he is willing here looking for a big finish. Was on his way to 2100, needed a big 600 set here. But certainly another respectable year. He continues his great run at the Open Championships. Nothing to be upset about, threw it well. Carey did not cooperate this time around.
That certainly has been the case for those of you who have been with us all day. We once again thank you for that. And for those of you just checking in now, it's 1:35 out here in Reno. 4:35 out on the East Coast. But yeah, these guys have been getting to the pocket. You see Sam there celebrating pretty hard for a double. Hits have not been coming these guys' ways today. For McNiel in particular, had the over-under reaction of running a little bit high, leaving a 6-pin, or making the adjustment, leaving a half 7, flat 7s. So just was never really able to find the right matchup to dial in for the big games we're used to seeing out of him. Certainly found that look yesterday on his way to a 759 set. But obviously the task at hand of challenging or of taking on 2 different patterns here is what it takes to have your name in the rafters for all events and team all events. These guys will certainly be back many years to come for this group. We talked about a little bit earlier, 18 Ingles amongst these 2 pair of lanes. Nobody would be surprised if they got up to that 20, even as soon as next year. So
starting to sound like a memorial service in here. These guys, don't forget, are in the top 10 in the team event. In 8th place right now, shot 34 and change. And just not having everything fall into place here in doubles and singles. Bowling well. Some good numbers, of course. Again, John Eiss stepping up on the right lane. 235, 258. He's got a great set out there. Todd Savoy, 217, 268. And striking here in game 3 as well. But maybe not the types of numbers that they're used to, but a great performance nonetheless.
and most importantly, looking good out there. Matching team uniforms yesterday for teams, same for doubles and singles here. All 12 members of this Linds Lakers crew dressed sharp.
Sixth frame, about to get underway here. Final game of 6. Lantto liked that one for the 3-bagger. a slow wheel from McNiel. Leaves the 7-pin. Not stringing him here.
Joey Robillard, one pair to our left, getting ready to step up on 11. Start off with the front three, looking to make it 4. Youngster continues to roll here.
Bowlers all around us, wrapping things up. Another year in the books. They're in frame number 6 of the finale. If you missed any of today's broadcast, it will be archived on Bowl TV. Check it out, youtube.com/Bowl TV. Find the Open Championships playlist. I know it's going to be there because Aaron's going to put it there as soon as we're done.
In fact, it's already there. Folks going to bowl.com/openchamp. Down at the bottom of the screen, the video feature has highlights from the tournament. Most recent one coming from our regular doubles leaders, Clark and Carl Polzer. Got a few shots of them talking about the experience. We have all of our live streams from the 2014 event up there as well. So you could sit there for a day and listen to the smooth stylings of Matt Cannizzaro and Aaron Smith. Sounds terrifying.
Parents will punish their kids. They miss too many spares at league. They have to turn on the broadcast.
With the sound on.
It's all they can watch.
Right, just have the sound on. You can't watch it. Joey Robillard getting ready to step up on 12. You'll catch him on the far left of your screen. Not sure how much. He's getting pretty far left here, but you'll definitely get to see the ball go down the lane. See his run at perfection come to a close here in this tournament debut. He's still going to have a nice number when it's all said and done. Todd Savoy still striking away here. Sets up the 9th frame. 267 still out there. Can get to 752. Double the 7th, 10th for Lantto. All right, McNiel stepping up. 9th frame on lane 13. 248 still out there. Be his high game of the day. Getting in and wheeling. He said, "Get on that horse, Paul."
It's wheeling like a gravy train with biscuit wheels. Is that right?
I've heard that one before.
There's a Matt McNiel special. King of the catchphrase.
Closing in on being the kings of wrapping up the live stream today. Getting ready for the final frame here of our broadcast today. This will be our last look at both pairs. USBC Hall of Famer Todd Savoy keeping it going. Makes it 4 in a row. 267 still out there. We're going to get to 752. Lantto mixes them up. Still having fun here.
These guys like bowling late. They won their team all-event title in 2006, bowling on the 1130 squad. And of course, McNiel worked his magic with Vashaw in 2012 on the late shift.
The 6-time titleist showing you how he earned them.
Do appreciate everybody sticking with us all this way. Game 6 getting ready to wrap up. Sam Lantto finishing strong. Todd Savoy having a great singles event here in 2014.
Finishes 266 for 751. Todd added 717. 717. Yeah, there we go. And team event 625 in doubles. 2093 just misses the 2100 mark. Unofficially, of course. Sam finishes up 249 for 641. very solid 1983. Wasn't even born yet.
It was a good year. One of my best for sure. Definitely not the note McNiel was hoping to finish his singles event on.
So McNiel finishes with 612 for 2034. Eiss goes 1871 at 667. Voaklander finishes up singles 597 for 1852. So we'll have a team all events total here in just a sec. Unofficial, of course. As we go to these.